and costly for you.
Yeah.
It's cost you what, about $2.5 million already?
It's cost
in
me
this
everything I've ever made, everything.
If you dig the content we put out on our channel, then all you have to do is hit the red subscribe button and let YouTube do the rest. Hey there guys, what's up and welcome back to our channel. More money, more problems. Well, for some, money might solve their problems, but for others, it's brought a ton of issues that eventually led them to becoming broke. The life of a celebrity is usually that of glamour and luxury as we see it from our screens. However, for some, that's not necessarily the case. There are a few Hollywood stars who got a little over their head financially and became bankrupt as a result. So, let's find out which celebrities you had no idea went broke. Number 10. Drake Bell. The former Nickelodeon star Drake Bell filed for bankruptcy in February 2014, claiming that he has $541,000 in debt and that he only earned $2,820 a month at that time. But because his monthly expenses increased to a few $1,000s every time, he got into an insane amount of debt. It was later found out that he was actually short of $1.5 million at the time he filed for bankruptcy. His income also significantly decreased in the preceding years, that is between 2012 to 2013, from over $400,000 to only $14,000. This sharp drop in earnings would have of course left the star in debt given the lifestyle he lives.
He only makes $2,820 a month, but his expenses top $18,770.
Number 9. Mike Tyson. In 2003, Iron Mike was thrown into turmoil. One of the greatest boxers of all time went broke and declared bankruptcy. During a hearing later, it was revealed that the star was $27 million in debt. Of course, this seemed inevitable given all the hobbies and extravagant spending he was engaged in throughout the years. He owns multi-million-dollar mansions, luxurious cars, and over-the-top preferences. By 1996, Tyson was a superstar and there was none like him. He was making appearances on television through advertisements, he had multiple wins in his career and earned a huge fortune through it. His reckless spending resulted in his demise, but he did make a comeback later on.
Life, that's just how I live my life. That's my addictive personality.
Number 8. Kelly Rutherford. You might remember Kelly Rutherford from Gossip Girl as Serena's well-off mother, but her nasty divorce and a bitter custody battle left her in ruins. She filed for bankruptcy in June 2013. At the time she filed for it, she revealed that she was about $1.5 million in debt of just the legal fees. Okay, that is crazy. In an interview later, she went ahead to say the proceedings and child custody have cost her everything she's ever made through Hollywood. Well, the situation is rather unfortunate for poor old Kelly. Regardless, however, she's had immense help from her celebrity friends who stood with her throughout her journey.
For
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
It's cost you what, about $2.5 million already?
It's cost
in
me
this one?
everything I've ever made,
Number 7. Kim Basinger. Rutherford wasn't the only one drowning in legal fees. The Oscar-winning actress Kim Basinger found herself in a similar situation. This star was forced to file for bankruptcy back in 1993 after she backed out of a movie project. The studio she signed with sued her for damages and had to pay them $8.1 million as a result. And because Kim was unable to pay them for this hefty settlement, she found it rather suitable to file for bankruptcy and get this offer back. Regardless, life wasn't easy for her given she had nothing in her pockets. The star was rarely seen on TV after this incident. All we can think of right now is that Kim should have gone ahead with the movie.
Visions, but no, I couldn't either.
I mean, was there a moment on the set when you just suddenly sort of...
Plain alone.
Number 6. Wesley Snipes. Snipes brought the leather-cold vampire hunter Blade to life in the late 90s and early 2000s, sparking a successful franchise. But Snipes may have celebrated his fame and fortune a little too early, and much only to realize later that he forgot he owed the government some tax money. Prosecutors in court portrayed him as a superstar who believed he didn't have to pay any federal income taxes. In 2006, Snipes and a couple of his financial advisors were charged with several tax-related offenses, including conspiracy to defraud the United States. 2 years later, he was convicted of the crime and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. He lost a good deal of money during this time, but he's back now and is spending a great time back in the Hollywood scene.
Bruises of life. You know, they build character, and you learn from it as you move on.
Number 5, Allen Iverson. We can't stop wondering why so many athletes make poor financial decisions when they already have so many horror stories to learn from. And one such person is Iverson. Once the NBA's highest paid player, Iverson was a bad boy on and off the court. And within a few years of leaving the league in 2010, he went broke. Allegedly squandering his money on expensive jewelry and other frivolous investments, Iverson took a job in the European Basketball League to make ends meet. Luckily, however, Reebok put aside his $30 million in a trust fund, but he has to wait till 2030 to actually get his hands on it. Reports suggest that Iverson was so broke that he couldn't even afford to buy a cheeseburger for himself.
Financially, is that true?
That's a myth.
It's a myth.
That's a rumor. I mean, one thing.
Number 4, Jordan Belfort. After making his millions in the 90s, Belfort went ahead defrauding every investor he could with his investment company. He is known as the real-life Wolf of Wall Street. Regardless, after a little while of such dealings, his illegal activities finally caught up with him, and everything piled up at once. Fines and settlements were one such thing, due to which his company was liquidated. Belfort was, as a result, sentenced to 4 years in prison. But the worst part is, he was ordered to pay $110 million in restitution. This is another example of how someone shouldn't try to fool the government, or else it wouldn't result in a profit.
My son was 7, they're just crying hysterically. And then we had that. It was the night before I went to jail. And then we all slept in one bed.
Number 3, Janice Dickinson. At one time making $2,000 a day as the self-proclaimed first supermodel, the outspoken Dickinson has attached her name to several reality TV projects with varying rates of success. Despite the fact that she seems to be constantly working, Dickinson filed for bankruptcy in 2013. It was reported that she was over $1 million in debt, including big sums to her cosmetic surgeons, which included plastic surgeons and anti-aging clinics. Unfortunately, Dickinson's pursuit of eternal youth and apparently poor financial planning was a bad combination.
Bankruptcy to Radar, saying she's taking every step to pay everyone back. Reports say she...
Number 2, Nicolas Cage. Ever wondered why this Oscar-winning actor and apparently one of the highest paid stars in Hollywood would take on so many roles that he must think are unworthy of his time? After buying and selling real estate like it was going out of style, making bizarre purchases such as castles, islands, and dinosaur skulls resulted in a $14 million debt to the IRS. He blamed the situation on his former business manager, whom he then sued for all the business troubles. Cage did everything he could to recover from his financial losses and repay his taxes by auctioning off some of his houses.
Going to detain a blighter for enjoying his whiskey?
It's all right, that's enough, sir.
Beggars and mash. Bubbles and squeak. Smoked eel pie, sir.
Number 1, Toni Braxton. Despite hit songs like Unbreak My Heart and a staggering $170 million in record sales, Braxton filed for bankruptcy not once, but twice. She was allegedly earning only $2,000 in royalties from her first contract. Moreover, she has a reputation as a shopaholic, which became the primary reason for her bankruptcy. She later took up a big contract, but was unable to actually perform due to a medical issue, which also became a reason for bankruptcy since this contract would have paid her large bills. She continued performing in private parties and took part in a reality show as a judge, which helped her stand a little and pay for her day-to-day living. However, she can no longer afford her.
The Vegas show, I just renewed all my contracts with all my vendors, and then a month later, I got sick.
So let us know your thoughts in the comments below about what you think. Do you think these guys should have handled their finances better, or that they deserved what was coming to them due to their negligence and spoiled attitude? And while you're at it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content like this in the future. Until next time, take care guys, and goodbye.